get up here. No, no, no. Nope. Nope. Mama always told me that what I lack in common sense, I make up for in sheer determination. So, when I was a young man, my stepdad was a carpenter. I grew up as a carpenter's stepson, and which means, yes, I got my butt whooped with all kinds of wonderful things. But he was a left-handed carpenter, and he had a hard time finding a right-handed skill saw or a left-handed skill saw. What they would usually use would be a worm drive saw. Those are real heavy. So for years he had to use a right-handed saw as a lefty. Now, when he finally did get him a left-handed saw, he had that, right? Well, here's the thing. Growing up, I used a right-handed skill saw, I used a left-handed skill saw, I used worm drive skill saw, I used all of them. And I was so used to using them that it just about don't matter to me. I could run either one. Of course, I'd prefer a right-handed saw where I could see the blade easier, but I can cut with either one. So when I spotted that guy at the Habitat for Humanity for 15 bucks, and it's a Porter cable, looks like it's brand freaking new, I was like, well, there you go. That's my new saw. Well, this board is 24, so it's just got to be less than 27, and 24 is less than 27. So I'm just going to make the other board the same length. And then we'll cut the last one. Alright, we got ourselves a horseshoe. Outside to outside, it's a little over 39, which is totally fine. Now we need to lift. Alright guys, we got some pallet lumber. Just want to say that all the lumber I'm using was all scrap. The lumber I built this table out of and the base for this table was all trash as well. I'm all about scrapping and recycling. I think I'm going to use this though. I think I figured out how I'm going to do this, because if I add that piece, it gets me up over 7 inches, and I don't need to go all the way back up under here. I can build up Another piece down here on this end for on either side. That way my batteries and stuff will slide under there. But I'll have something good solid connection on both these pieces. And also a good brace to keep everything rigid, because down here there ain't going to be much structure. It's just going to be a vertical. All right. That makes sense to everybody? I'm going to use a tape measure as a plumb bob. I think it needs to go a little further in. It does have a bit of a kickback in the back. And it's going to come forward a couple more inches. So the reason I like that spot is I got those seat bars right there, and right there in that corner. And if I'm fancy about it, I can use some plumbing tape and attach this sucker to those bars. That way it won't move when I go to putting that big old monster in here. What y'all think? Am I using my noodle doodle? Alright, so I added one of those rings, a little metal bar there, another one of those rings. I got to get it in place, but that bar is going to resist it moving forward. That's the important part. So now I got to take a lighter to this, soften it up so I can bend it around. Same thing on the other side. So can't do it with one hand and y'all won't be able to see it, but you got the idea. Alright, so yeah, that one didn't go in very far, but it's connected over there. And that bar right there is up against that bracket. Everything is pretty solid. Of course it'll pivot up from the back, but once I put the weight on there, that's not going to be doing no pivoting. It's all centered up. That big board there is 22 1/8 on center, 44 1/4 long. So yeah, now we just got to do that part.
Just the top one.
Yes.
Not
and
that it's
it overhangs, when you get it up here, it overhangs this board a little bit on each side.
Okay.
Not a lot.
This doesn't move.
It's mostly attached. If you try real hard, you might move it, but it's pretty much locked in place. So what we're going to do is first, we're going to get this part on the step. Then we're going to get your part on the step if we didn't already do it. Then we'll get this part and your part up on here. And then the real fight happens, so we're going to go from here to up here. We're going to do it in baby steps though. Okay?
Your side first, or am I trying to help you?
We're going to put the whole thing up there.
Okay.
On the step. Just the side. Pick up this side. Not the back. Just pick up this side. I'll move it down a little bit so it's closer to being in line. A little bit, needs to come a little bit more this way. Now we're caught on something back here. Caught on the carpet. So So we need to pick up on the back and don't get your fingers underneath it. What you want to do is get this part and push that direction. Just kind of push it that way. There you go. You do not want to put that on your hand. It will take a finger off. Straight up. Now the next one is up on here somewhere. And what we're going to do is pick up, we're going to lean back, pick up here, and put your arm back here, and then kind of push that way. Okay? Don't get underneath that thing. There you go. Alright. Same process, but it's getting harder for two reasons. One, it's higher, and two,
We don't have much room.
right. So we're just gonna try to get it up on top of that. How you're all right on being lined up right? You're gonna overhang a little bit. As long as you're gonna overhang some, it ain't gotta be perfect right now. I can move it later, but we want to get it in the ballpark. It should be fairly close to lining up with this edge of this board. About right.
This? Yeah.
Pretty close. Okay. That's about what we're shooting for. So now we're going to lean it back. We're going to probably have to walk it. So we're going to lean it back. Right there. Don't go too far. Now walk your end in. And walk my end in. And walk yours. There we go. Walk mine. Get yours on up there. Lean it back a little more. Whoa, not too far. It'll go. Now lean it forward or walk it forward. You're hitting the bumper, aren't you?
Oh, well, I'm right
But
on top.
are you hitting the bumper?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see if we can set it on there. Now here's the really hard part. Are you on there good? Not going to slide off anywhere? Got plenty of overhang? All right, come back here. And we're going to do the moving furniture trick. Hold on. There we go. Oh, stop. You do not want to lose it.
I think it's hanging over on my side more than yours. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I mean, does that make a difference?
Well, yeah, but I can.
You can.
The way I designed that frame is so that it can slide on it until I get ready to make it stop sliding, and that allows me to move it around some. See, it's fairly easy to move now.
Yeah.
We should look in there. We'll get it kind of close to being far enough. We'll go in and push it out a little more. All right.
Right at the edge of that carpet.
Yeah. Well, that carpet ain't getting.
Well, I mean.
That's where you are, though. All right. Everything else, I can do.
Okay, good.
Well, no. There's one more thing we can do. If your wife isn't as awesome as my wife, I'm sorry. All right. So this big giant son of a bitch is shoved in here. I gotta look at the pit. That needs to come forward a little bit more back here and up there. So shove it up here a little tighter. This carpet rolls underneath the edge here. I kind of like the fact that it's back here though. But there it goes. I think that this frame, the edge of this frame may be just perfect, or pretty close to perfect for everything. Needs to go that way just a hair, but yeah. I know you guys are getting a pretty lame view, but I think I measured that out just about right. I wanted to leave a little bit of space up here to be able to get everything in and not be fighting with the door. All right, so I got it up right against this point, which allows me an easy attachment point right here that I can actually get to from out here. And I think I could use a stud hanger. The stud hanger would clip here and here and right here. Something like that should work. But that gives me an ability to attach it back here. Underneath here, I've got, you know, 3/4 of an inch, plus underneath that is carpet, so a little bit more. I can run wires in and out of this porch down here into this area, and this is where the batteries are going to be. This is where my storage is going to be down here. So that's got a sound to it. So my little system to hold the thing in place worked perfectly, and everything is right where I wanted it to be, right where I predicted it to be, right behind that light and sitting in here. So now all we got to do is everything else. A lot, as you can see, there's a lot to do, but the heavy lifting is over. Now we're getting down to the cool part. Well, no, the cool part comes after this part. I got to clean all this up, figure out how I'm doing the power wires, and then once I get all that cleaned out and everything in here removed, then I can start the rebuilding of the wiring, and that's the cool part. But yeah, there you go. All right, so I was here man staring and thinking, you know, and I could also run this board here. I can run the screw from in there down into that, and also on the other side, and also into this board right here from inside. So I can attach this to the frame. I just got to make sure I've got the frame locked down, and then this thing will stay put real nicely. And the fact that it's you know, about 300,000 tons, that helps. All right, so right about where this frame is where the edge of my box is, the edge of my deal, and there ain't nothing but sheet metal. There's a few hoses here, but they're like 2 or 3 inches away from the metal, and everywhere else the fuel tank's way up there. So there ain't anything back here to run into. I can put screws anywhere under here, knowing that the edge is lined up pretty close to the frame on my box, and there ain't nothing. I mean, there's some hard lines right there, but they're like 3 or 4 inches away from that metal. So, and they connect to that and there. So there's nothing down here to worry about. There's lines way up here, but again, they're nicely separated. So yeah, we're golden goose. Golden goose, baby. This suspension is busy, I'll tell you that. Man, need shocks much? Look pretty rough, don't they? But it don't ride weird or anything. It's very nice and stable. Of course, this is the police version of the Tahoe, and it's got the heavy suspension under here, so that helps. But it was never intended to carry all the tons of audio equipment. So there's that. Yeah, I'm straight up underneath the hoe. I'm under the hoe. Ho ho. Alright guys, I shifted things around enough to where I could put that seat up. to get a look at the gap. Pretty good amount of gap there. A lot down here. Bear in mind, we were able to put batteries back here with that box slid forward all the way up to where that line in the carpet is. So we got enough room to put, like, I don't know, probably six or eight 3100s back here if I wanted to, behind the seat. But that's not the plan. Just saying that is an option if we wanted to. But I've also got the ability to bolt this sucker down to the body. I've just got to have the means to do it. I need a drill bit to drill through the wood and the metal. I've got some step bits, but that won't really work for this situation. And probably going to use some bolts, I think, to bolt that frame down. Probably bolt it down on that end right there, and on the other end over there, and run a bolt all the way through, and a nut and all that business. And I'm not sure about the other side, but if I get it bolted down in one spot, that'll keep it from sliding forward and backwards. And I also need to worry about it tipping, so I need to put something on the other end, so at least 4 bolts to hold that sucker in place. I want it to be rock solid though. I am tired. Very, very tired. Yeah. Now, I've also got some cardboard. I got that stuck in the back of the Tahoe. It wraps around the sides of the box. I got that piece, and I got this big old box up here. And this is how we're going to do the trim piece. So I believe I got enough cardboard right there to do the whole thing in the front. The other piece will do the thing in the back. So yeah, and I ain't doing that today, but I've got the cardboard for it. So there's that. I think I'm gonna call it a day today. It's just 1:15, 1:16, but I've been out here since about 8 o'clock this morning and got a lot done, but I am absolutely wore out. I need to at least take a long break, maybe slip back out here when it cools off this evening or something, if I'm feeling froggy. I don't know, we'll see.